So I wanted to approach my paper describing certain aspects and a certain structure of Rome in the psychological approach. And how I'm going to do that is characterizing the premise and the definition of how I define information chunking. And what that is having a part of a whole. Say, for example, you have a pizza, you take a slice, you analyze the information, you understand how to make it by reverse engineering that. And how I apply that to my assignment, reverse engineering by definition and implication of architectural structure, is creating a sense of urban development to see how things functioned, as to explain the how and why. For example, ancient Rome was, in my personal opinion, two motivational factors became essential to the movement of ancient times for either expansion or religious reasons. For example, the Pantheon and the harnessed focus of this assignment is essential and centralizes the focus specifically on pagan gods that were represented, worshipped, and gives light and understanding to understand that it's been part of a bigger, grounds, or it's part of a whole. It's part of Rome, and understanding its infrastructure, we get to understand and look at the floor plan, or not the floor plan, but the overall plan of its region, the campus Martius, and understanding that, understanding the structure, understanding the infrastructure, understanding how things were done, the how and why, and the movement that came about can show and give light to the infrastructure that came about in later times, giving more definitions as to how and why, the reasons behind later development, where they came from, why they happened, and why they were driven, being, for example, in this context, religiously motivated. For example, the most recent thing I can think of is the 7 points of Rome being connected to make interconnected the pilgrimage churches, more interconnected. The same reason as to why the Pantheon was built, to worship 12 gods. And the premise that these two hold, the common denominator of that, or at least the way that I analyze it, is parts of a whole. And another characterization of the premise that I'm explaining in the psychological approach of what chunking is. So you're taking reverse engineering what's given to understand a function, the same way you can make a pizza by understanding how it's made by eating a slice. So I'm doing that, putting that, and characterizing it in my own way to create a sense of understanding from context or the content and contexts, structure, to build, very grounded point and evidence as to how and why the Pantheon was essential, and what ancient Rome found important, the people they worshipped, the direction of the empire, and the shortcomings that happened in everyday life happened at the heart of the city. So that's where I'm at.